And let's take a look at this next one. So the first thing, again, as always, that we want to do is, well, read the question sentence. So right here, if one of the edges measures 12 feet, that's just conditional information. They're giving you information here. You're good. But it says here, what is the length in feet of the adjacent edge? Okay, what is the length in feet of the adjacent edge? So one thing that I have here is that, yeah, sure, we're looking for length, but I'm already curious about what the side might be, right? Because if we're asking for the length and we see that, one of the other edges measures 12 feet, I might just go ahead and call that the width. So I'm going to go ahead and just say, hey, other edge, I have a length, but I'm going to mark the other one as width, 12 feet. Let's just go ahead and see what we have. Let's see what information we're dealing with. So it says a rectangular playground. Okay, cool. So I see that we have a rectangle. So let's write that down. Rectangle, nice and easy. So a rectangular playground is being outlined with a 50-foot long string of lights that run along its entire boundary. That doesn't say perimeter. That doesn't say area. How can we figure out which one this might possibly be? How can we possibly figure that out? Well, really, it's just going to be about reading the context. Let's draw a rectangle, and let me show you what I mean. Everybody, if we have this rectangle that we're discussing, and we're trying to outline this rectangular playground with a 50-foot long string of lights that run along the entire boundary, what does that sound like we're discussing, everybody? If we're outlining it with 50 feet of stringed lights, exactly. That's perimeter. That is the distance around the shape. So remember, everybody, it's not just about memorizing. It's about using the context, understanding the context. And right here, my friends, that's going to be the perimeter that we are going to write down. We know that the perimeter is 50 feet. And one more question, everybody. Even if you might have thought that this was area, what is the one thing that you can point to say, for sure, this is not area? What's the one thing you can point to? Yeah, right here, the unit, feet. The unit feet. Even if these numbers or these words don't make sense to you, outlined, entire boundary, you can look at the word feet. That's just a distance. That's not area. That's not a square unit. Area would be squared, exactly. So we have to make sure that, again, we can give reasons for why we make decisions. That's going to help you out through and through. So with that, my friends, here we go. Let's go ahead. Try to grab the rectangle there. Let's go ahead and grab the rectangle, make it a little smaller, place it over there, and let's fill in what we have, and let's just solve. Here we go. So the perimeter that we have for a rectangle is 2 times the length plus 2 times the width. Fill in the blanks with me, everybody. What is the perimeter of this rectangle? We already wrote it down. That's right, it's going to be 50. Next, we're going to do 2 times, well, we're still looking for the length, so I'll just keep that as L. And then we have 2 times the width. Everybody, the width that we have written down is what? 12, exactly. So with that, I'm going to zoom in on this portion here. My friends, if while you tried to work on this by yourself, if you were able to understand that we were given the perimeter and the width was 12 and you remembered your formula, then you're good, everybody. You're good. We'll calculate together now. We're good to go. But I just want to really encourage anybody who feels like they didn't have enough time to calculate. I want to reassure you that you're doing the right thing. So booyah, the perimeter was 50. Double the length plus double the width. All we're doing is replacing what we have. Still looking for the length, so we'll just leave that as L. The W, the width, that's 12, and let's get going. Now it's time to solve. Here's how we do it. First, everybody, what's 2 times 12 going to give us? Correct, 24. So we have 2 times L plus 24. Now from here, What do we do next? Do we take care of the 2 next or the 24? Which one do we take care of? Yeah, it's going to be the 24. We want to get rid of that 24 that's just sitting right there. We see that it's plus 24. So we will do the opposite. The backwards operation will be subtracting 24 on both sides. And once we do that, we see that it cancels out on the right side. And so now we have 50 minus 24. We can borrow and do our thing, no problem. So 10 minus 4, that's going to be 6. 4 minus 2, that'll be 2. So 26 equals double the length. Well, some of us might get a little excited at this point, and if we saw that 26 was one of these answers, thankfully it wasn't. If 26 was available, I know some of us might have been tempted. But at this point now, we just need to finish things up. And we're going to go ahead and divide by 2. And that's it. Right on. So with that said, divide by 2 on both sides, nice and easy. Cancels out on the right. 26 divided by 2 is 13. And we are all good. So with that, length equals 13. 13 feet to be exact. And we are all set. Answer choice is C. And there we are. So with that said, everybody, as always, got to ask you, how are we feeling about this? Do we feel like we are making progress, at least in the area of translating that English into math? All right, looking at our next practice problem with distribution. Let's handle it with grace. Let's zoom on in. Get the problem in frame. Perfect. All right, here we go. So one thing at a time. Remember, everything on the outside, the negative 2a, is going to multiply with everything on the inside. So we're just going to take it one step at a time. So first things first, we'll have the negative 2a multiplied with the 5a. I'll write that down right over here. Negative 2a multiplied with 5a. Next up, I'll take blue here to multiply the negative 2a with the negative 4b. So I'll write minus 2a multiplied with negative 4b. I'll zoom out just a little more to give myself some more room. And then lastly, we have the negative 2a multiplied with the positive 3. So we have negative 2a times 3. So now that we're here, we're going to take it again, one step at a time, one group at a time. So we have negative times a positive, so that's going to end up being negative. Then we have 2 times 5, and that's going to be 10. And then we have a times a, everybody. A times a is going to be written as a to what power? Correct, a to the power of 2. So we have negative 10a squared. So through observation, you might be able to tell that b is not the correct answer so far, because this is a positive 10a squared, this is a negative. So you can start eliminating as you go along for sure. Next up, in blue, we have the negative 2a times the negative 4b. We'll take it one step at a time like we did. Negative times negative, everybody, is going to give us a what? Negative times negative is going to yield a positive. That's correct. Then up next, we have 2 times 4, which is going to be 8. A times b, that's going to be written as just ab. That's correct. Boom. There we go. We're good. Now, next, we're going to move forward here to the negative 2a multiplied by the 3. Negative times a positive, that's going to give us a negative. 2 times 3, that's going to give us 6. And then we just bring that a that we see right on down. And that's it. There's our final answer. Negative 10a squared plus 8ab minus 6a. So with that, the correct answer here, my party people, is answer choice C. And there we are. Perfect. There we go. Now, let's go ahead and take it to the next step here. Let's try the next one out with the same patience and grace.